ready for the Hiro team. Go ahead.
Okay, I think we've got kind of a special presentation that's going to be happening right here in Gordyville. And for that, we're going to welcome to the block Mr. Sir Richard Yoder. He'll take you to the next part of the ceremony. I think sit tight. It's going to be an interesting deal, and the chickens wait. Don't make it too long. We're hungry, Richard.
Check, test. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What an honor it is to be here tonight and help one of the greatest Dutch harness horses in North America celebrate his show ring retirement. And we do have, before we get started here, I'd like to just announce we have a show ring retirement here tonight. Not a breeding barn retirement. He is retiring from the show ring. He is going out on top. And with that, no further words, we have a message here from Hiro himself.
Good evening, everyone. I am Hiro T. I would like to take the time to thank everyone that has been involved with my journey since my arrival in the United States. There are far too many people to start naming individually, but there are a couple that I would like to give a shout out to this evening. Those two individuals are Jonathan Fisher and Randy Forrester. They had the vision when they saw my performance as a 3-year-old and received my KWPN approval status. Randy and Jonathan decided to make the purchase and have me come to the United States as a show horse and breeding stallion. I was a little nervous, but nonetheless excited to explore this new world across the ocean that I was going to call home. After all the paperwork, needle pricks, blood drawing, and vaccines, I got on a plane and made my journey across the pond to my new home in America. After my trip, I needed to stay in quarantine for 30 days, which was boring, but worth the wait. When I was ready to leave, they took me to my trainers, which turned out to be brothers, Myron Yoder and Stephen Yoder. They welcomed me into their care, and we started my breeding and training right away, which made up for the boredom spent in quarantine. I arrived at their barn in June, right in the middle of breeding season. Straight away, there were some more owners that took a liking to the qualities that I showed them. While I was breeding mares that summer, Stephen took me to a couple of shows to prepare me for the American Dutch Harness Horse Finals that fall. As my first show was approaching, I went to the breeding shed that morning, then afterward went directly to the trailer and we headed to the show. I was nervous but excited at the same time. Somehow I survived the day and the judges liked me a lot. So here we go, off to the finals as a 3-year-old. Randy, Jonathan, Stephen, and Myron decided that we were going for the Renovo Cup. Talk about some pressure. The championship class came up and off we went with Stephen at the lines. I had such a blast and so did Stephen. We ended up being the reserve national champion that day in the Renovo Cup, only 4 months after stepping off the plane. I was so excited, as were my owners and trainers. After that day, a lot of people decided to breed their mares to me that very next season. After the finals, I went home, and they decided to train me under saddle. I was unsure of it at first, but it turned out that I really love that as well. So that fall and the next spring, I went to some stallion presentations, and we started preparing for another breeding season. The first winter, Jonathan decided he wanted to buy out Randy Forrester, so they came up with an agreement and made the deal. The first full breeding season, I stayed tuned up, and that summer we went to a few more shows with our eyes set on the ADA finals again. As I kept doing shows, the judges liked me more and more throughout the summer, and I got comfortable with Stephen on the lines. The next thing I knew, we were headed to the finals again, but this time as a 4-year-old showing as a junior horse. I had so much fun that I ended up winning the red and white sash and was named the Junior National Championship Harness Horse. Sometime after the finals, Melissa Moore took a liking to me, and the decision was made to go to her barn to prepare for the next show season. I quite enjoyed my time working with her under saddle and in harness. Myron kept me in shape so that Melissa could take me right out of breeding season and still show in the fall. Going back to work was always a good time, knowing all the love I would get from Melissa and the crew. They gave me all the mints and love I could handle, but I didn't mind. While in Melissa's care, she took me to quite a few under saddle and in harness shows. My highlights were my wins under saddle, and best of all, I got to be the national champion Renovo Cup winner one year and the reserve national champion the next with Melissa Moore on the lines. With all my winnings and the way that my offspring were doing, from weanlings to 2-year-olds, driving and performing like show horses, it certainly got people's attention and interest in breeding their mares to me. In the fall of 2020, Jonathan made the decision to offer me for sale at public auction. So here we go, preparing for the auction. But little did I know that my trainer Melissa and my breeding manager Myron put their heads together to come up with a plan to purchase me and continue breeding mares. So in February of 2021, the big day arrived. I was a little nervous, not knowing where my next home was going to be. There were a lot of parties interested in me, and the bidding started getting up there. People started clapping, and the next thing I knew, the sale was over. I was happy to be owned in a partnership with my beloved trainer Melissa Moore and Joe O'Brien. I got to go home with Myron and Shar again. Later that year, I went to a couple of stallion presentations and had a year off from showing. After all those years of showing, it felt pretty good just to be able to be a horse again. We had yet another great breeding season in 2021, and my offspring were performing incredibly well. As 2022 rolled around, it was back to work with Myron and Rob. We had a blast, and I felt rejuvenated. In the middle of the breeding season, I went back in full training, and my sights were set to go one last time for the Renovo Cup. I got so focused on my training that before I knew it, I was on my way to compete at the finals. I had a good week at the finals, and on Saturday night, when they were getting me ready, I started getting amped up and ready to go. The time came and Myron was on the lines. We entered the arena and the crowd was electric all the way through the class. We went into the lineup and the waiting game began. The judges wanted to see more, so off we went again in a 3-horse workout. My blood was pumping, my heart was racing, and I put on a good show. That night, I was crowned the national champion Renovo Cup winner for the second time. So once again, thank you very much for all the human friends that I've made and to all the individuals who've taken care of me throughout my journey. Without you guys, I wouldn't be standing here today in this retirement ceremony. I hope to continue, as I have been so far, a sire of champions. Everyone is welcome to come back to my stall after dinner to scratch my back or tickle my nose. I love meeting people. It has been a great journey. Thank you so much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what an opportunity here it is tonight to be here and have one of the greatest Dutch harness horses in North America. If you would like to open that gate and welcome into the ring, here comes the 2022 Renovo Cup National Champion. Here comes Hiro. Now we're going to ask you guys to give him a good round of applause tonight, and you be very, give it to him. We'll let him settle down here as he comes down here. This is Hiro himself. He is the current 2022 Renovo Cup National Champion harness horse. He is here tonight to finish out his career as a show horse. He will remain in the breeding barn and keep on doing that as we go here. But what a horse he is. This is one of the greatest that we've ever had the opportunity to witness in North America. He is in center stage tonight. He is in all his glory, wearing his ribbons that he so well deserved. And he is strutting around here doing his thing. So So he is, as you heard in the video, Hiro is a two-time Gordyville Cup winner. He is reserve national champion. He's got enough ribbons to line the whole side of the ring. He is one of the best. And he has proven himself as a breeding horse. He has proven himself as a show horse. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, he is as fit as a fiddle tonight. He loves your attention. Give him another good round of applause as he gives up this side. Yes, sir. What a horse he is. We have so many accomplishments. I don't think we need to read all those. We heard that in the video here tonight. But I'd just like to say, you know, most times when they have a show ring retirement, it happens at a horse show. It's a big deal. Some of the best ones, they go out at the World Championship Horse Show every year. They have retirement ceremonies. They wanted to bring this to you, the people that have supported this horse from the very start. He is in center stage tonight. What they're going to do, they're going to unhook this horse in center stage, take his harness off, and he is going to be officially retired from the show ring. Now, with that being said, he's still going to be available to breed. Absolutely, he will be available to breed, just like he has been, but he will not be showing anymore. So what a fitting way for him. They brought him here to the people so you could all see him. You are the people that have supported this horse from day one and made him to where he is. So while they're taking that harness off, I would like to recognize there are the current owners of this horse. They're standing here in front of the auction block, and as I say your name, I'd like for you to raise your hand. So we have Hiro Gingrich, Alan Rayburn, Marty Bowler, Ray Slabaugh, Andy Hirschberger, and not present, we have two more owners. Justin Cowley, he owns Cowley Horse Insurance. He could not be here tonight. And also Mark Schwartz from Napa, Indiana. Would everybody give these group of owners a good round of applause? Now, we do have, as you heard in the video, we have several people that have been very involved with Hiro through his breeding career. They're standing up here in front. I'd like to give them a chance to add a couple words to this. So here's Jonathan Fisher.
Well, it's an honor to be here tonight. When Myron called me and asked me if I'd be part of the retirement ceremony and maybe say a few words, you know, of course I said I would, but as the time came closer, I wasn't sure if I could what I could say. I'm kind of choked up. I just want to thank everybody for the amazing journey that it was from the day I got Hiro until I sold him, and then just to watch the dreams continue. I've made a lot of, met a lot of amazing people that have impacted my life in a positive way through this horse, and it's just pretty awesome to be here tonight and see it all go down. I'd just like to say a couple words to young boys or young guys that have a dream. Don't ever stop dreaming. Dream big, because it can become a reality.
Thank you, Jonathan. Everybody give Jonathan Fisher a round of applause. So we have one other person here that's also been very involved with his journey from the start. Here's Mr. Stephen Yoder.
I just want to thank this horse, the owners, everybody that trusted us from the start. I mean, he's a big reason for the little operation we got today. Don't really know him, not a public speaker. Like Jonathan said, dream big, because when he first talked about all this, and yes, we want to send the first Dutch stallion to a saddleweight trainer, I quite honestly thought he was crazy. This just doesn't happen. But yeah, he's made a lot of proud memories for me, that's for sure. And I love to see this. Thanks, everybody.
Everybody give Stephen a round of applause. So there's one other person that could not be here tonight that was also very involved in Hiro's journey. She drove him to his first Gordyville Cup National Championship. She may be listening by live feed here tonight. That's Melissa Moore from Versailles, Kentucky, one of the most accomplished saddlebred trainers in North America. Let's all give her a round of applause. She could not be here tonight. She loved Hiro. She called him her heart horse. She just absolutely loved this horse, as well as Myron. Myron's out there doing his job, but I'm sure Myron would tell you this horse is one of the most special horses he's ever had a part of. And as a horse trainer myself, you get some of these good ones, you become attached to them. They really are a part of yourself. And everybody give Myron and the whole Ed Tech crew a nice round of applause.